So obviously you've been with Lilo and Stitch since the beginning. What's it like to see that legacy continue after all these years?
I am over the moon that that I'm invited back to the party 23 years later, and that it's such a huge success because it tells me that the world appreciates the aloha spirit that we're bringing to the screen. I think in this particular film that it's even more modern of a story because it faces the real challenges that Nani has in taking care of her sister, but also taking care of herself as a young adult launching into life. And I just love that. I love everything about it.
What was it like kind of, I guess, passing down the role to Sydney? Did you give her any advice? What was that experience like?
Yeah, I spoke to Sydney. She called me because a girlfriend of mine, Angie, she's a producer in Hawaii, and she said, "Hey, I'm here with Sydney, who's going to be playing Nani, and she wants to ask you an advice." And after talking with her just for a few minutes, I said, "Girl, you are unbelievable. You are powerful beyond your years. You have everything within you to be successful in this role. You need to take a moment to own that and just know that everything you need, you have within you." And that's something that I needed to learn as a young woman. So I love that I get to impart that, that nugget of knowledge that I've accrued over the past however many years, and to share that with her because I kind of wish that somebody had told me that when I was younger.
So with the history of Disney animation leading up to the first movie, which was such a wild departure because it was a sci-fi movie and something that Disney hadn't really done up to that point. What was kind of your reaction to seeing that and thinking, how that would play in the whole Disney world when it was such a departure from what it came before?
Well, when I had first met with Chris Sanders and Dean DeBlois, we just had dinner, just talking in general terms about the concept of the film, because they said, "Oh, we're doing a movie in Hawaii, you'd be perfect for this part." And when they told me the storyline, I was like, "Okay, is this a Disney animated feature, or is this an episode of Jerry Springer?" Because it was like, wait, what? Social services is going to take the kid away from her sister and separate the family? Like, what is going on? So it was a lot to comprehend, but to see it put together so deftly, so beautifully, it was beyond anything I could have imagined. I was like, Lilo and Stitch, these aren't Hawaiian names and blah, blah, blah. But when I saw the research they had done and painted the world so accurately to the plantation homes that we have in the islands, and then when they got me to impart the pidgin English accent for Nani, a little bit like how you actually sound if you're born and raised in Hawaii, you have this way of talking, and to get to suggest aloha oi for the hammock scene to say goodbye to Lilo. I couldn't be happier, so it's wonderful.
So being part of both movies, they're both very successful, beloved. I'd be curious what you think, how they complement each other, like, and what each brings, like, why a child might choose to watch one day and another day.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think for the younger kids, probably the first one with the animated, because it's it's the pace of animation and the calming nature of the watercolor, and maybe some of the more zany Stitch stuff and outer space with the explosions and things. Maybe a little tiny 2 or 3 year old wouldn't respond to that, but the pictures that are drawn by Chris Sanders and Dean and the whole team, they made them look like pieces of art. I think that would be great for that. But when the kids are a little bit older that know action and adventure, and I don't know what that age is for the child, but it's got something for everyone. And that line, whatever it is for your kid, they can enjoy it at any age. The more frenetic and action-packed storyline of the live action, but the through line through the whole thing is love and finding family where you find it. And it's a beautiful, uplifting story, no matter whether it's the animated or the live action.
I'm Tia. Hi. I would like to know how did you receive the news that the movie overpassed $1 billion? And also, I'd like to know what is the lesson to be learned from Disney about this movie in terms of how to make live action adaptations.
Oh, well, the first part was like, I woke up and my boyfriend had sent me a text. It was like, congratulations, Lilo Stitch made $1 billion. I'm like, wait, let me put my glasses on. Let me see what. It's a billion. It was incredible. So that was fantastic. Waking up to that news and then reposting it everywhere. And then what was the second part of the question?
What is the lesson for Disney? For Disney to
The
be
lesson
learned?
for Disney, well, I wouldn't dare give the mouse any of my advice because I think he's doing just fine with his little blue friend, the billionaire Stitch. But I think, if anything, it tells everyone that we can have stories that are diverse, that are a little left of center, that aren't always princesses and princes, that we can take a shot. And I think they have been doing it for a long time, like Tangled and Brave and all that stuff. I think like the world's been evolving, so too have the films at Disney, and I love that we're so accurately represented. Thank you.
So one of the things that was amazing about the recent film was that a lot of kids who grew up with the original film were able to bring their family because the film meant so much to them. How has that reinforced your understanding of the impact? Obviously, when the movie came out, it was a success, but you're in the midst of it. But now, these years later,
that means a lot. Yeah, that's huge. When I just went to a screening and Q&A for Wayne's World, which is 33 years. Holy cow, I gotta stop counting years, I refuse. But a guy there said, I just want to say something about another project, and you know that I saw that Lilo and Stitch live action was coming out, and I was like, oh no, it's a cartoon that I love, that they're gonna make, live action. But I was so excited when I found out you were in it, and I wanted to see it because I have such great memories from my childhood that I brought my kids to see the film. And however we get the people in the door, I love that it turns into being like, wow, it's a whole nother iteration of the film, but I love it also. It doesn't have to be an either or, because they're two very distinct styles to the delivery of a really beautiful story, and that continues.
Is there another Disney movie that you would like to see be remade, just in this era of Disney remakes?
Goodness, I mean, I love Dumbo and Bambi, and I know with the technology we have from seeing Lion King, it'd be great to see those stories of a flying elephant. The circus background, because we're kind of don't want to see animals in a circus. That's going to be confusing. So I don't know. It's hard to say, but I'm just enjoying this particular project that we've done a great job with it. I'm really proud to be a part of it.
Just one more minute, guys.
Yeah.
Did you ever have a chance to go on any of the Stitch attractions at any of the Disney parks?
You know what? I didn't. I never did. But every time I go, every summer, there's Stitch merch everywhere. So I have a treasure trove of Stitch merchandise. I have Glitter Stitch, I have Rock and Roll Stitch, I have Elvis Stitch.
Kind of talking about all of the merch that exists and all of the different media that these characters have been in. What has it been like to see this thing that you were a part of grow in the way that it has, and leading up to the new movie that you were also able to take part in?
I have to pinch myself and go, you are the luckiest girl in the world. I was discovered in a grocery store at age 17, shopping for groceries, got my first movie, and moved to Hollywood, and now I have friends and fans all over the world because of a body of work that continues on and has a legacy like this. I couldn't be happier.